now return to the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour on Fox Sports Radio. And now, your host, Scott Heiligman.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. Here we are in the studio again, and it's a beautiful Saturday. If you were listening to the first half of that show, you know that we ended this show. You know that we ended by talking about
Premiums.
Silver Eagles and
Just premiums in general and how things are traded, yeah.
Scott, it's all about demand, isn't it?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Yep.
There we have. It's almost like inflation. Too few is supplied being chased by an overwhelming demand.
And all the banks are buying.
Are they?
And they're holding. All the central foreign banks are buying and holding.
That's
precious metals. They're putting a lot of, they're putting a lot of gold primarily, because silver takes up too much space.
Yeah.
So they're buying tons and tons of gold and holding it.
Wow.
And we're talking about Silver Eagles now. Why do those have such high premiums? And so do the constitutional coins. The 90% that we talk about used to be the cheapest way to get it.
Right.
And now it's trading at 30% over premiums.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of. It usually be 1 or 2% premium.
That's nuts.
Now it's 30%, and Silver Eagles are 65%, and so these are made by the U.S. Treasury. So I'm thinking maybe some people are just under the impression the U.S. Treasury won't be around for long, or that it's just going to be trusted in trade, where if things go crazy, well, then maybe Walmart will take a U.S. dime because it's 1964, it's U.S. Treasury. So the American Silver Eagles, and people don't realize, and the Gold Eagles, they have a denomination, a dollar denomination on them. The gold ones are $50, I believe, maybe $100, but I think they're 50. They're 50, and the Silver Eagles are $1.
Right.
So they're technically worth $1 if you bring them to a bank, and they're supposed to be able to. Yeah. So there is that. So people think that would be the best way to preserve, or for a rainy day fund. If things go crazy, that would be the most accepted coinage.
Yes.
And that's the only thing because right now silver generic rounds, you can get an ounce of silver if you're just looking because you think the price is going to go high. The premiums are $2 over spot right now.
Right.
Which
would be like $23.
$23, where a Silver Eagle's $35.
Yeah.
$15, which is 75%.
Yeah.
35 I saw them for today.
So what people are doing,
but they're made by the Treasury, and maybe some people think the Treasury won't be around for longer. We won't be printing money.
Right.
So maybe these will be more of a collectability thing.
Yeah.
That could be it too, right?
We talked about this 2 or 3 months ago on the show about how people are stacking, and some people will stack those rounds because they can get them at a less costly premium. So they're stacking the rounds. And then you made a comment, and I remember this because we had a caller that reached out to us and said, well, can I trade my silver for gold? And you said yes. As a matter of fact, it's a great idea because it takes up less space.
A lot of people like to convert it over. Yeah.
So think about it. You could have 50
it's the best way to do it.
Coins, and you get yourself 1 gold. The difference. Mm-hmm. And it's got more value.
And you're dealing with the dealer for both transactions.
Yeah.
So you'll get a better wholesale deal than if you're just doing a one-sided transaction.
Right. And that's what
That's coming from a straight dealer. That's just kind of how the world works.
Right.
You do more business with me, you're going to get a better price on something.
Yes.
Just because I get a better price.
Yeah.
On volume.
So if you're interested in what we're talking about, reach out to Park Shore Coins and Collectibles, Scott Heiligman.
Yep.
His number is 239-961-0816. That's 239-961-0816. Or you can visit parkshorecoin.com.
Yep.
And you can ask him.
Or come in and visit. 5644 Tavilla Circle.
Got the new.
Right off I-75 in Immokalee. A beautiful showroom.
Beautiful offices.
You come in and you'll want to sell your stuff. Nice, comfortable
there
place. At least get a free appraisal. Bring your stuff in, free evaluation. Now, it's not necessarily an appraisal where I'm going to write out a document, but I will let you know what Park Shore Coin would buy it for, or what you have.
Right.
A lot of people just want to know what they have, and then, maybe they want to sell it. Maybe they say, hey, Scott, let's put it in the auction. Let's see what it goes for.
Yeah.
It's
a great
we'll
idea.
just write up the paperwork, and, the breakdown, the commission will be somewhere around 20 to 30%, maybe as low as 10 if it's some items. But to process these things and the credit cards and to deal with all that, it does have a cost associated with it. But we'll figure it out. We'll do it fair.
That's good. It's
a great option.
It is
a great way to do
option.
it. People like to, and then they can buy things at the auction too.
That's
like
the
it.
other thing. Yeah, you sell things, not only buy things,
Right.
but you've got people.
get rare
on the
stuff
other
from
end, they're
Naples.
buying from you. They want to
Yeah.
buy coins. They want to buy
And
jewelry.
we get good stuff down here, especially that jewelry. Yeah, so check out the auction.
Absolutely.
You're going to be really stunned to see some of this nice estate jewelry down here in Southwest Florida.
You've got some beautiful stuff on
and
there.
we price it to move. Like I
Yeah.
said, if I own it, it's starting at $1, and if we're consigning it, that's what I'm probably going to want to do anyway.
Yeah,
Because there's no reason to take the time and energy and effort to put something on with the reserve.
yeah,
When it's your time to sell it and want it to go, just realize we're going to get that top dollar for you.
yes,
We're going to market it properly, but you're just going to have to make that jump and leap of faith.
yes,
I do it. I lose money on a lot of my items because I don't put reserves on it.
right,
$1, let it go. What it goes for, what the market says.
right.
That's what an auction is. Sometimes it goes way higher than I thought.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just bite the bullet. But that's
That's-
how it
that's
goes, and that's how
absolute.
anything is.
Right, that's absolute, right?
That's an absolute auction,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
With
I mean,
no
that's
reserve.
the way to go. That's
Yep.
that's the way to go.
It's a great way
I
to
think
do it.
having that opportunity is fantastic. We're talking about prices of gold and silver. Let me ask you something. In this last segment we talked about the premiums paid for silver. Are the
Oh, yeah.
premiums paid on gold coins the same?
A little bit lower, but yeah, they're nice steady on the American Gold Eagles right now, about a 5% premium, 6%.
Okay.
So usually they're about 2 or 3%.
But in a gold eagle, you don't
Much
have
lower.
you don't have to buy a full ounce.
No, you can buy 10th ounces as
10th
low
ounce,
as they go.
quarter.
But some products they make 1 gram, like Volcambi.
Right.
You'll see like a bar, like a Hershey's chocolate bar
Mhm.
with pieces, and you can break them off 1 gram. Some will be 100 grams on
Yeah.
one sheet.
Really?
Yeah, you can pluck off 1 gram and sell it by the 1 gram. So that's why it's a nice option for some people.
Especially if
It's
you're going to have
called
to
the
barter.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
That's what-
that's cool.
yeah. It is cool. So when we have the office, we'll set this up. We'll have some show and tell.
You know what? That's
So I usually have those in the office one.
Yeah. yeah.
They sell fast, and when the market moves quick, I don't hold on to things.
If somebody wants to
You know.
see what you're talking about, they can
I'll
come
put a
visit you
picture
at the
of it,
office.
or I'll put a picture up on the website.
Put it on the website.
Yeah, put some cool cold pieces.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Well, you know
We'll
what?
start a section that says like this week's show and talk.
Yeah.
Put pictures.
That's actually a very good
So
idea.
put a note of that.
Talking about
Volcambi.
gold and coin, Stephen D., and this is from a text,
Hey, Stephen.
in Estero, leads right into this question, what we've been discussing. How often does the price of silver and gold change? And if you quote a price, how long is that good for?
Usually just that same day because the price is usually it's silver. Yeah, that quote's good for the same day because it's
Yeah.
changing every hour.
Yeah.
Um,
You're monitoring the price.
you got to
all the
monitor
time.
it. Yeah, every transaction. That's what it is when you come in.
So if
Uh,
somebody came in and brought you some silver in the morning,
Mhm.
that same person came in the afternoon, it might be a different price.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Yeah. It is a different price. Not could be. It is.
It is, yeah.
And even to buy too.
Yeah,
Because if you say, hey, we're doing spot price plus 3%
yeah,
on American Gold Eagles, then that 3% is going to be predicated on what spot is when you. So
Right.
sometimes it'll be 1900 when you walk in, and it goes on to 1850. You're literally losing $10.
$50. Yeah.
Either win 10 on a fork out 1800.
Right.
It's not wonderful, but
No.
it happens.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
that's the
nature of the
nature of
animal.
it.
It's
You
like,
know what I mean? But that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Period. So.
yeah.
That's how that
Well, that's
goes. And it
probably
can
why-
go the other way too, though. So
Right.
don't get me wrong.
That's why so many of your buyers buy regularly because they're spot averaging. One week they're buying it
That's
at
right.
20, the next week they're buying it at 22, and the next week they're buying it at 19. So it all
Yep.
averages
Yeah,
out.
average
And
cost.
they don't no sense getting all excited about the cost.
Doesn't matter to them. It's
No.
like a steady. It's like my poker days. You just want to steady. Never get too high. Never get too low.
Right.
Because otherwise you've already lost.
Right.
It's got to stay steady.
Stay steady.
It's the only chance you have, really.
Dollar cost averaging,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Just do
Yeah.
it steady. Don't get too. Yeah, exactly.
For those of you who are listening and you hear us talking about coins, and we'll talk about sports memorabilia, but one of the big things that Scott will buy and sell is jewelry.
Yep.
You're seeing a lot of jewelry in this market.
Tons of jewelry.
Southwest Florida,
Yep.
there's so much jewelry that comes
A
through
lot
here.
of diamonds.
A lot of diamonds.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of diamonds. How's the market?
We
for
had that
right now?
call. What is that email
You know
we
what?
had?
I
I
wrote,
think it was from SD
I
in
wrote it down.
Naples.
and she wanted to
and
know, yeah,
She said, Scott, Parkshore Coin.
about lab grown
I'm looking to buy a diamond, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I see the prices are 1/5 for a lab grown diamond versus a real diamond. Should I invest in a real diamond or a lab-grown diamond? What are
Right.
your thoughts, Scott?
And she also said, how does it affect my current diamonds?
And how's that affecting the prices of my current diamonds? Now that's a great question. So if people don't know, diamonds are made from carbon and pressure. And that's the reality of what they're made out of. And this high pressure makes a diamond, and this carbon you can now create it in a lab.
Yeah.
And you cannot distinguish from a real one from one that was, because they were both made the same way. One was made underground and had to be cut into, had more of a rough. One was made in a lab. Now there is like one machine out there that can distinguish the two, but if the average consumer can look at a stone and say, hey, I want a 1 carat diamond, and let's say VS, D or E color, which it will be an $8,000 stone.
Right.
I can get that now for $1,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one are you going to do? Are you going to get one that you can't even tell if it's a VS, if it's lab grown or not? And
Right.
Pandora, who's one of the bigger jewelers in America online, and they have stores, they're only buying lab grown now.
That's amazing.
So they're saying, hey, whatever some are using the conflict diamond, but whatever the story may be, it's now flooding the market. So what's that going to do in 20 years to the market?
Right.
I think that is going to make real diamonds worth less.
Right.
Because it's the only thing that really
It
can
won't
happen.
be worth a whole lot
Especially
more than
if most people can't distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to bring them to a dealer and say in 10 years, well, it's a real, they're going to say, well, all the consumers think these lab-grown diamonds are a real one too.
They think they're the
Because
same.
you can't, they are the same.
Yeah.
You can make a lab-grown with imperfections.
Yeah.
It's just, sometimes it's just as hard to make an imperfect one,
Yeah.
But they're worth, they cost 15%.
Well, and since a perfect diamond is so rare, having an imperfect diamond is usually the way you're going to go anyway.
Exactly.
So,
So now you get one for 1/5 the price.
right.
And so if the millennials, who are the ones who are buying it, only want to buy these lab-grown, that's just going to flood the market more and more and more.
Right.
But
But if
unless we see some unforeseen things where, I don't know.
If our listeners have diamonds that they'd like for you to take a look at
Yep, bring them
and
in.
give you an estimate.
Because right now they're at an all-time high,
Right.
with inflation.
Yeah.
So point being, I think they're probably hitting a peak or
Yeah.
probably close to it.
Okay.
Because I just, if you have all these companies putting the lab grown on, and GIA, they certify them just the same.
Right.
They're certified by GIA, but they'll say lab grown. But the average person cannot distinguish.
Yeah.
Even the average jeweler cannot distinguish.
That's amazing.
You probably have had to been looking at gemologists for 40 years looking at stones to maybe, and still I would bet that they can't distinguish. That's why you got to put them in these very sophisticated machines that cost like $20,000.
Yeah.
That's the true one way to tell.
Yeah.
They make over the counter ones like Park Shore Coin has for like $1,000.
Yeah.
But even those make errors. And so it's very hard to tell. Very hard to tell. You can't tell by looking.
Yeah.
You can't even tell by magnification.
Right.
You have to
It's
be
very
You have to get
sophisticated.
high. Yeah, it's the same because the point being they're the same thing. It's like one or the other. You're taking a glass of water out of the Atlantic Ocean. You're taking a glass of water out of the Pacific. You got ocean water.
Still salty.
It's still salty ocean water, and one's 1/5 the price than the other one.
Wow.
And if this one's going to be
Wow.
on your ring all day, and this is what people are now selling online, the
maybe,
real ones are just going to be gradually worth less
Maybe-
because there's just going to be a less of a demand.
Yeah. Maybe
know?
if you're thinking about selling diamonds and you're thinking, well, maybe I should wait 10 or 15 years. Maybe now's the
But
time.
they're still worth a lot, so they're
Yeah,
still going to
sure.
continue to mine them.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah. De Beers has vaults of diamonds. too.
Right.
They let them out, trickle them out, and they keep the market
That's
up.
right.
Which is
But
part
how
of
long
it.
can you do that if
Yeah.
it's like if this technology is out there for lab grown?
Right. So if you've got some diamonds or you've got jewelry that you'd like Scott to take a look at, you can visit parkshorecoin.com, parkshorecoin.com, or call him at 239-961-0816. And you're text friendly.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we tell our listeners that every week. You can text him a picture. He can
Prompt response.
prompt response. He'll invite you to come to the office if you've got a moment, and he can give you a unique perspective and make you an offer on the item.
Oh,
If you want to be paid for it, if you want it cash, check, money order,
Consignment.
whatever, consignment.
Yeah, just put it right in the auction.
Put it in the auction.
Be done with it. We were talking about it. Yeah, we try to get you in and out within 10, 14 days.
That's great.
It takes 2-3 days to process the transaction.
Yeah.
pictures and weigh and description.
Yeah.
And I think, and then 7-day auctions and
Yeah.
have you done. As soon as we
Have you
get
done.
paid, a couple days later.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
And then you get to
fantastic.
follow the auction. You get to see your item.
See,
You
that's
get to
neat.
send it to your friends. You get to
That's
send
neat.
them the link. And then it just brings another aspect to it.
Most people would
That's all.
love to participate in an auction, but
I agree.
know how
I
to go
love
through all
auctions.
this.
I want to do a live auction eventually, but just, it's a big undertaking.
yeah.
'Cause you have to have like
yeah.
4, 5, 6 employees
Yeah. Big auction.
just to do the auction.
Just to do the auction. Well, you know what? You've got
But
a
it's
lot
pretty
of
cool. They're
clientele out
fun,
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to visit the auction, you want to visit the website.
Park Shore Coin. We're doing it all online
parkshorecoin.com.
for now. Yep.
Yeah. Take a look at the website. You can look at testimonials. You can look at the price of gold and silver, like we've
Yep.
been talking about.
Yep.
It'll give you the spot price.
Yep.
You can
Items
look at
we accept.
yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, you can look at all the different types of collectibles that Scott's office will take a look at, whether it's those coins we've been discussing or jewelry, toys,
Vintage toys are cool.
vintage toys.
Yeah, that Voltron sold for like $150.
This is the one we talked about a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
And the buyer was so happy. It was a German. Someone in Germany bought it.
Really?
Yeah, you can't just get an item like that over there usually.
No.
That's why worldwide auctions are great.
That's
You're not going to get a Mattel made or whichever it was.
You see,
An
Scott's
American.
got buyers all over the world
For
just
sure.
waiting to see your
That's
stuff.
what auctions do. You know,
Yeah.
because if you can get online, you can open up the buyer base.
Yeah,
You just
Yeah.
got to know how to market to them.
that's fantastic.
They're there, yeah.
Okay, toys, musical instruments.
Musical
We
instruments
talked
are
about
good.
musical instruments in the past.
Yep.
You've had some really good musical instruments come through.
Mhm.
So there's a market for those.
Some good guitars. Yeah, those Gibsons can add up. Those Fenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are what we're looking for.
They're looking.
Yeah.
So
Those are $2,000-3,000 items a lot of
you
times.
have people that want these things, and you connect them.
Yep.
You get the items, and you connect them with the. You're the
That's
conduit.
right,
You're the
for
conduit.
sure.
You're the broker.
I'm the broker for
You're the
Black-
broker.
Yeah, for sure.
Call Scott at 239-961-0816. Text him if you like, or visit parkshorecoin.com. Now, when they visit your website,
Uh-huh.
they can see all these cool things. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. They can ask a question on the
Mhm.
website. They could attach a picture if they don't want to do it through text. They can say, "Hey, Scott, I listened to you and that really nice guy on the radio, and he said I can send you a picture of this, this musical instrument." And give it as much information as you can.
That's right. Give
Send
me a
you-
model number.
Yeah.
Give me the maker.
Yeah.
Or take pictures of that.
Right. Now, one of the things that you've had great success in and people wanting to bring you has been watches in the
Watches are great.
last year.
Yep.
Watches have been really hot.
Rolexes have been very good.
Yeah.
The market just keeps getting hotter and hotter on those.
Yeah.
But it has tapered back a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything is tapering a little bit.
Well, that was
But they're
affected
still
by
pretty
COVID.
high. COVID. And a lot of extra stimulus money out there.
Yeah.
People had a little extra money.
Who
to-
knows? We may be
especially with
getting
SBA, and we're learning with PPE, a lot of them were business owners.
Yeah.
Who are taking out these fraudulent loans, and they're just spending it on luxury items.
Sure. Yeah. They
You
say
know,
that.
and these are $50,000-$100,000 loans, or just money was in their checking account the next day. No accountability.
No accountability.
Well, there is. It just takes time. That's why there's just 70,000 IRS agents
Maybe.
hired. Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they're gonna, they're
They're saying
once
that,
you sign on that paperwork,
Sure.
they didn't. Just because they give you that dough doesn't mean they forgot about you.
no.
I mean, they
the
called me.
government
I
is-
owed them
yeah.
$51 by accident for not sending in some real, something crazy. So they're
51
yeah, $51. And that was all penalty. It was like $1 in tax I owed. So believe me, if you took out 150K or 10K or 50K,
Yeah.
buckle up
You know,
because they're
there's-
gonna
They're saying that almost 40% of those PPE loans were fraudulent.
for sure.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Well, people just because they were giving them to anyone as long as they had a tax ID number and can prove this or that with paperwork, and then the banks were incentivized to give it. They
Well,
were on a commission basis.
And what's amazing
What
is
a
lot of
dumpster
that,
fire.
A lot of that money left the United States too.
Probably.
It went international. The world said,
Why
"Wow,
not?
Americans have got more money. They know what to do with. Their government not only spends the money they take, they borrow money to give to you because we're way past giving us our money. They go out and borrow money in your name. So we could get into a whole political discussion here, but it does affect your business. It does affect the collectibles industry.
I think, yeah.
And it's going to affect for a while.
Mhm.
It is. It's
Yep.
going to affect for a while. But your business is such that you've got people coming to you that for one reason or another may need cash.
Yep.
They may need to sell something. Everybody from
Everyone
time to
co-
time
yeah, for
needs,
sure.
needs to.
Everyone always needs a few extra bucks.
Yeah.
And just bring it on in.
When they come to you, do they sometimes tell you why they're selling an item?
Oh, that's just been sitting around. They don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or maybe they'll send some money to the grandkids.
for sure.
You know, grandkids going to college. Hey,
Because it adds up. Yeah.
yeah,
for
if
sure.
you got grandkids going to college out there,
Cleaning out
you
drawers.
need some cash, and you got a silver tea set sitting in a drawer, bring it to Scott. They give you top dollar.
Yep. Yep.
You can help the kids out or
Exactly.
the grandkids.
Yep.
But it's a great opportunity. You know, we've been talking about some of the callers that you get, and here's one that actually came in on your website. And it says, "This is William in North Naples. I'm writing to sell my collection of silver dollars. You've said that condition is important. Is this a good way for me? What's a good way for me to determine condition? If somebody has something and they're not sure, they want to know more about the condition. Is there a
There's
way
a
that
lot
a
of good
layperson-
websites. Yeah, well, they can text me 239-961-0816. Front and back of the coin. That's going to be your easiest way.
And with the new
And then
phones,
I'll show you how to do it.
yeah,
You know, I'll say, hey, I think it's this grade ish.
yeah,
You know, and obviously you can only tell so much by looking at it over
Right,
the picture, but
right.
that's better than what they know at the time.
right,
So if they just text me front and back, I can, you know, it's graded from 1 to 70, so you can get a very good idea from the detail, especially on a Morgan dollar on the bigger coins. You just can tell what they are, if they're high grade or not.
right,
Just text.
right.
You don't have to. Otherwise, you can always Google. You know, show me the different grades of Morgan dollars. There's out there. Yeah, the walks from a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Right.
And then 60, 61. 60 to 70 is where the jumps happen.
Yeah.
You know, so
So-
then each detail there, that's big bucks, you
Right.
know, but usually. So that's, you know, you can tell a 30 and a 50 and a 10
Yeah.
very easily
Yeah.
within minutes of just looking at examples.
Yeah. So you don't have to be a professional grader to kind of
By
figure
no
out where you
means.
are.
By
you
no
know,
means. And
you
it's
know,
not necessary in 98% of the collections.
Yes.
That's one of the challenges. People bring it in and they see me whip through their coins. They think that it's like, first of all, if you're bringing me all these coins in a Ziploc bag mixed in with regular pennies and quarters, probably not going to have any choice uncirculated super rare coins. You've already beaten them
Right.
to already take that away from it.
Yes.
So when we pour them out on the table and go through them, they're probably not, you know, they're probably circulated coins.
Yeah.
Not worth much more than a penny or two on the pennies.
Right.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of pennies,
especially wheat pennies. You know, they're worth the copper 3 cents.
sure.
You know,
You
just
know
because
'em.
they're 1930s.
And you know about those, don't you? Especially by buying poundage.
Yeah, and they go by the pound.
Yeah.
Yep.
Copper.
Yep.
Yeah. You bought copper too.
Yep.
That's
Sell it.
amazing. It's a commodity.
People love it.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Sold it. Did
Yeah.
you sell the 2,000
Don't
pounds
even
of
have any.
copper?
More than that. Yeah, bought another big batch. Gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Precious
money in it.
metal. Everything's liquid.
Yeah.
So it all has a price.
Yeah.
You know, you can get rid of it in overnight. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Somebody
Well,
out
Well,
there
you look
cool
at how
industry.
much that
Yeah.
copper's going for,
Yeah.
and it's like literally the houses now. They're not putting copper in them anymore. They're using all plastic piping of some kind.
Really?
And I know it's because the price of copper's come up so much over the years. Back when I used to work with my dad years ago doing plumbing stuff with him when I was a kid, it was copper. Everything was copper, and it was all soldered, the whole house.
Yeah.
And could you imagine what that would cost today?
I think a lot of them, I think that's why the prices of new homes are going sky high. So I think most plumbing still is.
Is
But
it?
really?
Yeah.
I know a lot of the commercial is still copper,
Yeah.
but most of the houses now they're doing with the with
PCV,
one of the
that's
different
pretty
styles
cool.
of plastic.
Well,
But
every
there's
once in a
some
while-
fittings that you can't get around it. There's a lot of items that I think they still need that copper.
Yeah.
But it's still been tamed. I think it's still like $4 or $5 a pound.
Well, every
So
once
it's
in a
not
while you
crazy
see on
yet.
the news where the police caught someone stealing hundreds of pounds of copper from a construction site.
That's the thing they attack. That's exactly what they go for.
They
Adds
know
up to
where it
thousands.
is. They get in, they cut it off, they take it.
It's very liquid.
And wow, how do you trace something like that?
You can't.
It's
They
terrible.
also take the catalytic converters.
Yes.
That's a big crime back.
Now,
Yeah.
what is there gold or platinum? in
Platinum
those?
and iridium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now platinum price, because you deal in commodities.
Yeah.
What does platinum sell?
Well, it's half
for
the
now?
price of gold, believe it or not.
Okay.
But you know,
Maybe
it's not-
$900
Yeah,
an
about
ounce.
$1,000. It's still very valuable. and iridium's very expensive, like $8,000 an ounce.
Really?
Very little of it in there, but it gets melted out.
Yeah.
And they're very expensive to replace. And these people have it down to a science now where they're in and out within minutes,
Wow.
and they can. It's crazy. It's because of
So
the precious metal.
If you're listening, don't bring Scott
And that's the
catalytic
point
converters.
being in the manufacturing industry, these precious metals have lots of uses. It's the
Yeah.
reason the catalytic converter is for pollution.
Yes.
So the mechanisms within are used to filter pollution.
Yes. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's what the catalytic. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Well, you've seen a lot of things. I recall a listener reaching out to you about 2 months ago and asking in an email, do you buy dental gold?
Yeah, dental, and it's usually about 80% pure.
Wow.
So it's usually pretty because they like it a little softer,
Yeah,
so they can work with it, and that stuff adds up too.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just do me a favor and clean it first. That's the one thing you can clean. Never the coins, never the jewelry.
Don't clean. Yeah,
The
don't.
dental gold, you can throw it in the, do
We
whatever
have-
you want. Throw it in the oven for all I care because it's not going to melt it.
You-
Disinfect it.
We need to warn those listeners.
I've seen
that,
some that are not so clean.
Yeah.
I've seen a ton of dental gold,
Oh, really?
especially when I do the small Midwestern towns.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they all had dental gold.
Dental gold.
Everyone had teeth that were handed down from grandma, and they were always hundreds of dollars. They're heavy.
Yeah.
Some still had the tooth in it.
You made a comment a minute ago. If you're listening to this show and you're gathering your coin collection, whether you've inherited it or it's your collection, a warning: do not clean your gold or silver.
No.
The coinage, do not clean it. It is worth more if it's in its original condition.
Mhm.
And it has a
Dirty.
patina.
Yep.
Dirty, grimy, whatever. Don't clean it. Scott has
Don't
said,
even buff it.
don't even
Some
buff it.
people think they can buff it now because there are some, professional pneumatists who can buff a coin
Yeah.
without chemicals and supposedly get the dirt off without affecting at all the surface.
Right.
I don't know how they do
That's
it.
very tricky.
Very tricky. You got to be high expert, high level.
Very good.
I
So,
wouldn't do it.
just a regular person out there, do not clean the coins.
Do not touch it.
Bring him to
Bring 'em-
Scott.
just bring them in. Keep them how they are.
Park Shore
and,
Coin and Collectibles. He's like
Free
Guinness.
evaluation is bring them in.
Free evaluation off of Immokalee Road.
Yep.
And it's right there.
Can't
Within a
miss it.
mile of Immokalee. You're within half a mile of Immokalee.
Yeah, feet.
Yeah,
I'm on
No,
the intersection of 75 and
absolutely.
Immokalee.
absolutely.
Yeah. I'll
So
see
come
my
and
signage.
come and visit him. We're going to close off the show
Oh,
today.
that went quick.
Absolutely, it was a quick
That was
show.
a quick day.
Those of you that are listening, check back with us next week. You're going to learn a lot more about collectibles. And Scott, we always like to
Wrapping
tell
up
them
this
if you're
August, if you're at golfing, hit them straight.
hit them straight.
Yep.
If you're on the Gulf, fishing, don't get sunburned.
Don't get sunburned. That's right. And
Because
check
when-
back next week.
so if you're a golfer or
Drink lots of
fisherman,
water.
come and see Scott.
Yep.
Park Shore Coin and Collectibles. And this has been the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles
Thanks for
Hour.
listening. Yes.
Thank you for listening.
That's right.